What's up, guys? Another episode. Oh, I was going to say cooking with Volk. What's happening, guys? UFC 293 this weekend. Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland. And we've got a whole heap of Aussies and New Zealanders fighting on the card. So obviously I'm not going to be biased. You know I'm not one to be biased. So you guys are going to get some, you all know what's going to happen here. Obviously I'm going to be backing my boys.
Welcome to Australia, cocksucker.
But let's get into it anyway.
The hand is so dangerous.
So Israel Adesanya, I'm going to kick off with the main event. Sean Strickland, he was originally meant to fight Dricus, as we all know, and then I think there was a foot injury or something like that. And then Sean put his hand up, or even Izzy, I think Izzy called for Sean. Obviously they've had a bit of a history with the press conferences and things have been said, so I'm sure Izzy wanted to get his hands on him. He's been wanting to get his hands on him for a while, so it's actually going to happen. You know, if you're going to bring a UFC event here, you've got to have myself or Israel Adesanya defending our belt. You know what I mean? Like, from our part of the world, why would you not? So I'm very glad they got that over the line. $1.15, obviously red hot favourite and very deserving. I'm not going to take a heap away from Sean, but stylistically and the level that Izzy's at, there's a reason why he is such a favourite, especially for this fight. Obviously Sean Strickland supposedly has a wrestling background, grappling background. He's got a bit of an ego though, like, let's be real, no, is ego the right word? But he's obviously like, who cares about that shit? I'm just going to stand and bang.
I probably should wrestle, but that's probably not going to happen.
Wasn't very well for him with the whole Pereira thing, but there's a good chance he does that anyway. But you might see him know that this isn't a battle he wants to go down. He doesn't want to go down that sort of road with Israel Adesanya. I think especially he should learn that pretty early. Izzy's going to really pick him apart, smash his legs. The variety and dexterity Izzy has with his legs, mixing it up at the leg, wherever it goes to the body, going up high. I can see so much damage happening. One thing that I've been thinking and I've been picturing in my head, a broken arm. Breaking Sean Strickland's arm from kick. I don't know why. I'm just seeing it happen while he's trying to block, while he thinks it's going low, brings his hand up last minute and just snapping it. I'm actually picturing that. So, is there anything can you actually go for odds for a broken bone? Probably not, but I'm going to go, obviously, TKO. I think it's going to be a TKO. Mid-rounds. I think it's a mid-rounds, anyway, 2-3, I think. I think you could do it in the first, but I'm picking a round 2, round 3, TKO stoppage, and I think he really does put it on him. Sean Strickland's going to say some things, and I think Izzy's going to get the payback that he wants, and I think that's going to be that type of fight where he really gets to hurt this guy, because Sean's tough. He's going to try and keep coming forward, and I can just see him really getting absolutely battered. Yeah, that's honestly how I see it going. So that's why he is $1.15, and so he should be. He could be $1.05, and I'd still say safest bet probably on the card. Then we're going to go Tai Tuivasa and Volkov. He's an underdog. I'm pretty sure he's paying $286. So he's a bit of an underdog here, probably because of his last one. But we always, and I'm going to take, again, all the Aussies and New Zealanders. But I mean, how can you not think it can be a pretty safe bet with someone like Tai Tuivasa as well? Because you know that he can put his hands, and Volkov's going to stand with him. He's going to want to use his range. He's going to want to use his teeps and things like that. Does Tai Tuivasa still get inside and use them big, heavy hands that he has? I can definitely see it. We've seen what he did to Stefan Struve. Got in even in the clinch. That's one thing that Tai Tuivasa is very good at. Punching in the clinch, punching over arms while they're in the clinch sort of position, and then even punching his way in there. So he's dangerous and he's good at covering that distance and finding them shots. And then he's good in the clinch even if they try and grab a hold of him. They're going to try, again, Alexander Volkov, he's going to use his tips. He's going to try and keep him at range. It's going to be hard when Tai commits to wanting to come in. Because he's tough and he's durable, he's going to be able to hit some if Volkov is trying to catch him coming in. I can see him sort of taking them well and maybe landing, maybe pulling short and then landing once he gets a little bit closer, or landing as he's sort of clinching up. sort of Stefan Struve style. So I could sort of see that happening again. So I'm going to go first, second round, early round. I'll go the first or second round, knockout, TKO, whatever you want to do. Going to go decision? Yeah, I think it can. But that if it's going to decision, that means I believe it's gone very well for Alexander Volkov. That means he was able to keep him at bay, at range, and not get caught while he can't come in, which I think is going to be hard to do. I think it can go to a decision. Can he win the decision? Of course he can, because he can do it. Remember, it's damage trumps all. So Tai Tuivasa going decision, yeah, but my bet would definitely be TKO. And early, if you're going to bet on Tai Tuivasa, just go the finish. Even if it's third round, I still see him going for the finish. So that's my pick for the co-main.
Me switching stance a lot. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, my goodness, that was powerful.
So Manel Kape. Manel's a favourite, and he should be, because he's a dangerous dude. And there's a reason why he's a debut coming in. Obviously short notice, because Kaikara France got injured. I think it was concussion and things like that, which is something you don't mess around with. And so he's had to pull out from the fight, which would have been a cracker fight, because they're both so good. But Manel Kape versus debut guy. Manel, I remember hearing about it, first time I heard about it was me watching his fights, and then hearing the hype around him, like about him finishing, and then he got another finish and be like, he's just finishing everybody. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this kid's a real deal. So I'm expecting probably a finish as well, because that's his style. For a flyweight as well, it's pretty entertaining when you got flyweights finishing people like that. $1.25, so I think your best, you're going to get a couple more cents for a TKO. I don't think it'll be much more, because he's known for his finishes as well. But let's go the TKO finish for Manel Kape. Justin Tafa, Austen Lane. They originally fought, I remember it was a bad eye poke, and I know what these are like. I actually remember in a wrestling practice that I did, and I remember as I went to shoot, I went straight into a guy sort of sprawling with his hand, and the thumb went straight in. The worst. Like, I could not see. I remember seeing it was just a blank grey screen. Could not see nothing out of that eye. Like, and when I say a blank screen, it was like perfect grey colour with nothing else. And I thought I lost vision. I'm like, for this to be one consistent colour, I must have lost vision. So I remember shitting myself and thinking, oh no, what have I done? Thought it was like career-ending sort of stuff. And I say TKO. Again, the boys are always looking for a knockout. And his style, I'll be honest, he's sort of willing to eat one to give one type style. Well, he just commits so much to looking for that finish, which is exciting and fun, and it works for him. Can get caught, but he usually catches them, and that's how I see it going again. I really do feel like he's going to get the TKO again. Home crowd, everyone buzzing off each other. I'm thinking it's going to be a massive whitewash from all the Aussies and New Zealander fighters. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So I'm going to go Justin Tafa for a TKO.
On the IT man / knee area.
And it'll set up the hit. Oh, and there's another one. That might end it. It certainly sits him down. That'll do it.
Tyson Pedro or Anton. Tyson Pedro, what's he paying? Obviously, they're both even. Obviously, probably from his last fight, Tyson Pedro. He's probably not going to talk much about it, but we can. Obviously, you might have heard. He had big problems before that fight. I know a lot of people don't like to make excuses, but here I am making the excuses for him. So if you have ever had a stomach bug, and you're up all night spewing and shitting, and you know how miserable you feel, imagine having a fight in the UFC the next day, or while that's happening. I can't think of anything worse. I think that's one of the most worst sicknesses. So I am going to go with Tyson Pedro, and I think he can definitely, he's another finisher. He can get a submission though. That's the thing. A lot of these other guys, I'm leaning towards a TKO. Here I'm leaning towards both. TKO submission, because if Tyson hurts him and can knock him clean out, doesn't even need to jump down and hit him on the floor, could definitely happen. Once it goes to the floor, if the option of a submission's there, he will take it. Where a lot of the other guys, that's not an option for them. They're punching face, and that's that. If they turn the back, he's wrapping that neck up, he's getting a submission. He'll grab an arm, as he's, if he's trying to hurt someone's going there, and they leave an opening, he'll take it. Just remember when you're doing this, obviously, I am going to have a little bit of a bias, but I really do believe in my boys, and I think they're going to do it. And the rest of the card, I'm going to give everyone a shout out, but there's no point in me doing a breakdown, because I'm just going to pick them all. Man, how many guys from City Kickboxing? I think there's 6 of them from City Kickboxing, all did camp together. So you can imagine the energy, you can imagine the hype, you can, being in Australia again. That's why I feel like these guys, they're all going to perform, they're all going to put on a show. I really do believe they're going to turn up. I really do believe they're all going to turn up. So Carlos Ulberg's looked incredible in his last few fights. And even though this is, I think, maybe a little bit more high level of competition, I truly do believe that Carlos Ulberg still walks away. So Carlos Ulberg for the win. Jack Jenkins, obviously for the win. Jack Jenkins, I've trained with him as well. Trained with pretty much everyone on this card. Great fighter, featherweight, active, doing what he needs to do, and he's going to be right back in there. I think he just fought not long ago, and he wants to get back in there. He's doing all the right stuff. So I'm going to pick Jack Jenkins for the win. Mullarkey, Jamie Mullarkey, another guy I've trained with him a fair bit. So my last camp, he come out after his fight. Obviously, it didn't go his way. Late notice, I remember seeing him at the airport on his way to the fight, and he just found out on his way to Vegas that he had to change an opponent. So that wasn't too well, but he come and helped me for the UAE camp. So shout out to Jamie Mullarkey for that. But yeah, so I'm going to pick Jamie Mullarkey as well. Blood Diamond. So this is an underdog right here. He's going to be paying $3 something, $3.20. And all right, I can see why a lot of people are going off his last fights in the UFC. And a lot of people, even when I had him as a training partner, and I was saying like how good it is, people are like, oh, and they're trying to go to them fights. I go, mate, trust me. I'm talking about the guy that I see in the training room, and that's why he should never be a $3 whatever he is paying underdog. So I know, and he was on fire. Even then, he seemed like his head was screwed on, and he's definitely making the right changements in his head. So if there's an underdog that I definitely feel like, I like to usually give people my underdog pick of the week, and that is definitely Blood Diamond. Because again, he's been looking incredible. I know this guy's obviously going to try and take him down. That's what they're all going to do against someone at a high-level kickboxer like that. But he's getting very good with his takedown defense. He's been working very hard with it. So I'm going to go with the underdog pick of the week, Blood Diamond.
So he can really power those punches down the pipe.
Shane Young. Well, he's one guy that is very well-rounded. He's good everywhere. Good grappling, good wall work, good striking, and puts it all together really well. I think he's going to look good all 3 rounds. I think it's going to be a 3-round sort of clinical performance. That's what I'm going. Kevin Jousset. All right, so late notice for him. I think the guy that he's fighting was a late notice. They both found out about this card. They just put him on this card. So they're both debuting. Kevin's someone who should have been in the UFC a long time ago, so he's ready. So he's training with the boys at CKB so much, so he's ready for the big league. So he's going to be ready to put on a show as well. So I'm going to go. He's very durable. He's a judo black belt. I think he was. He's done judo his whole life, and now MMA his main craft, and he's putting it all together. His grappling's really good, and his striking's getting a lot better too. So yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Jousset. Again, I'm going with all the Aussies and New Zealanders. It was going to be a no-brainer. At the same time, there's always going to be a bias because you're just going to pick because they're Aussie and that, and then you're going to know what they're capable of as well because you train with these guys. You've been in the wars, you've been in the trenches. You know how hard they train. I know how hard I train. I know a lot of these people have the same sort of structured camp, and I know they all train hard. So I'm always going to back that because I know preparation means a lot. So they're all going to turn up. I think it's going to be a complete whitewash of Aussie New Zealand fighters. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm going to be ringside for every single one of them from start to top. Cannot wait. I am buzzing. See you later.
Be dying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.